Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Tri-Droid from the 30th Anniversary Collection. This guy really is pretty cool, but before we take a closer look at him, let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging. So here it is, pretty standard for what we saw out of the 30th Anniversary Collection. Nice big image of the Tri-Droid up here on the corner, and then whenever you flip it around onto the back, you can see an image of the character right here, as well as an image of the figure down here. Of course, there is a brief description, and if you'd like to read that, you can go ahead and just pause the video. And then finally, down here at the bottom, it shows off some of the other figures that were released around this same time. So pretty standard stuff. So let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself here. Now the Tri-Droid, as I've got him positioned now, stands at about 6.5 inches tall. So it's got some pretty decent size to it, which is fairly accurate. It is, I looked up on the Wikipedia, it is just slightly too small, but honestly, I don't think you'll notice it whenever it's, posed and everything. It will look much larger than an average figure. It does come with one accessory, and this is such a strange decision on Hasbro's part, and that is a figure stand. Now obviously you can see here it's just a regular stand, but one thing you'll notice is that this figure doesn't have any peg holes in its feet, and honestly doesn't really need a stand, so I don't know why Hasbro gave it one. I don't mind though, honestly. I'll end up using it with another figure, so no big deal there. As far as articulation on this figure goes, it's honestly not that bad. I have one problem with it, and I'll talk about that once I get to it. So here in the head, it does have a swivel, and then each one of the little blaster cannons on it, let me see if I can actually show you, has a swivel here and then a hinge that lets it fold up into the body, and then each one of them of course does that. And there is a little thin tube on there, which is nice and flexible so it doesn't get in the way. Now at each one of the, I guess, hips or legs, it has this hinge joint here, and then you can swivel it from side to side in these little clips. And honestly, this is the biggest issue that I have with this figure, and that is that these little hip joints, they just don't feel that solid, honestly. The legs will sometimes, when you're posing them, want to unsnap, and in storage they like to come off a lot. So honestly, if they had changed that one thing about this figure, it might be one of my favorites of all time. Honestly, it looks pretty cool, but unfortunately it does really hold it back a lot in my opinion. Coming down the leg here, he does have another hinge here, and then at each one of the feet there is a, it feels like a swivel joint, but they're so frozen at this point I can't actually get them to move. And then he does also have little pinchers which you can open and close. So this is one that honestly when I was a kid I really disliked, and it was one of my least favorite figures of all time for a long time. But after pulling it out of storage and taking a look at it, it's actually not that bad. They really did a nice job. The paintwork on it is really well done. There's a ton of detail, really a ton of articulation, and I think Hasbro, for the most part, did a pretty nice job rendering a very strange character, in the 3 3/4 inch scale. So I actually didn't think I was going to say this when I first started reviewing this figure, but I recommend picking one of these up. I think they're actually pretty cool. I think a couple of them in a display would look really awesome. So if you have any comments or questions, please throw them down in the comment section below, or hit me up on my social media, and I guess I'll see you later.